Today, I'm going to try to bring some clarity to the concept of arm weight in piano playing. And I'm going to give you a simple practice strategy that you can use to unlock the power of arm weight and use it safely and effectively. Most people know at the advanced piano level that using arm weight is a good thing, but it can be confusing to try to figure out how to actually do it. The missing piece that doesn't get talked about enough is simply understanding the mechanics of a piano. What happens when you press a key is the mechanism of the key is going to throw the hammer at the string. So it releases the hammer hits the string, and the sound is made. At the moment when the hammer hits the string, it weighs the same whether you're moving the key with a finger or with an arm. So the question of how much weight is being applied to the key, it doesn't change the weight of the hammer. There is plenty of nuance involved with making a good sound in a piece of music, but if you isolate the playing of a single note, then it's a simple equation. More speed equals more volume. It's as simple as that. So the question becomes, how do we translate the weight of the arm into speed of the key, and therefore speed of the hammer? The source of energy that we're tapping into to move the key is the weight of the arm being pulled down by gravity. Gravity is always acting on the arm no matter what we do. We can hold it up or we can let it go. So if we let it go onto the key, what has to happen is we need to transfer the energy efficiently into movement of the key. I'm going to drop my arm weight onto the key in two ways. The first time, I'm going to let the joints of my finger and hand and wrist bend as I contact the key. Now I'm going to drop it a second time, but I'm going to add enough tone in the downward grip of the finger so that the structure of the forearm and hand stays intact. And this way we get a lot more sound. The energy is being transferred efficiently by the forearm structure into the key, as opposed to being dissipated as the joints bend and absorb downward. So the structure that can actually transfer energy efficiently into movement of the key is an arch. It's like a bridge, basically, from the tip of the finger to the back of the elbow. If the arch stays intact, then the energy is transferred efficiently into the key. The impact of hitting the bottom of the key is an issue that I'm going to talk about afterward, and I'll show you how to deal with it. But first of all, a couple subtleties about what exactly the arch is. The two endpoints of the arch are the back of the elbow, specifically the joint between the ulna on the pinky side of the forearm and the elbow. Then at the other end of the arch, we have a finger or multiple fingers. Each finger is connected through a different line of weight transfer in the hand. And so we need to find the right balance points for each finger so that they form a supportive arch. Since finger 3 is in the middle of the hand, the weight goes through the line of bones connected to finger 3 into the forearm. When you move to a different finger, then it's going to balance in a different place in the hand with a slightly different alignment to the forearm. I can move to any other finger and rest on the note for a few seconds and see if I can find the kind of structure that will support the weight of the arm. The pinky needs to balance more on the side of the hand, and usually with a little bit more supination in the forearm rotation movement. The thumb is a completely different type of balance again, but the principle is the same. You can also have a good arch at a variety of heights. It can be higher, like this, or it can be lower. And you vary the height from this top joint of the hand where the hand joins the finger. It can be in a high position like this, or the finger can be stretched out more in front of the hand. You can get almost to the point of being straight between the forearm and the fingers, but just a little bit bent downward. And that still forms a strong arch. Now I'm going to come back to the issue of impact with the key bed And I'm going to get into the practice strategy that I'm recommending. Obviously, we're not just going to drop a solid, unyielding arm structure into the key bed and expect things to go well. That was a demonstration to show the principle of weight transfer. In reality, the arm is dynamic and alive, and we need to use it in the context of playing music. So what we have to do is focus the structure at the point where we're making the sound, and then we're free to approach and follow through with physical freedom. The way I do that is by playing forward and up. So the elbow comes forward, and then there's a small amount of wrist and finger action that contributes to creating speed at the key, and then we follow through upward. The wrist has to be really minimal, so it's actually best to not even consciously try to use the wrist. Focus on the forearm unit and on the gripping of the fingers from this joint. And the best way to train this movement pattern is by practicing things staccato. I'm always emphasizing a unity between the forearm, hand, and finger as I do this. So make sure you're not doing any kind of extra flicking motions with the fingers or the wrist as you're playing staccatos. It's all about coordinating the energy precisely between the arm and the fingertip. This way the finger functions as the end of a longer kinetic chain, and our energy is going to be transferred efficiently into moving the key. Of course, you can use this technique to practice staccato material, but the lesson I'm trying to get across here is that good legato playing contains the same energy dynamics. So it's a great idea to practice legato material staccato in order to train this. If I do this on a scale, after playing it staccato, I'm going to play it legato, but with individual elbow strokes for each note. Then I'm going to smooth it out and go a little faster. So instead of transferring the arm weight through individual movements, it's just a continuous downward pull on the arm by gravity. And so we're letting that move the keys, and the fingers are responding instinctively to that and contributing to the speed of the keys. I'm going to show this in action in a Chopin Nocturne, the E major, Opus 62, number 2. In the opening of this, what we want is a full, rich singing sound in the right hand. So it's going to seem a little bit weird at first, but I recommend practicing things like this staccato. Whether you're playing staccato or legato, the sound is made at the moment of attack. So by practicing this way, you're going to build that awareness into the way you play legato. It's also helpful to practice this by filling in the long note values with eighth notes in this case. That's going to help to make sure you're releasing tension as you're on the note and you're not holding anything more than you need to. Now when you put it back together and play legato, you can feel the upward follow through and the release of each note. So I'm getting a full sound here with very little effort. Because you're in a position of power in terms of the energy transfer, you can move a lot less than you think sometimes. If at some point you're not feeling it, you can go back to staccatos. When you're well well connected like this, you can actually shape the phrases and vary the sound using arm weight, and then the fingers respond proportionally to the amount of weight you're putting in the keys. As for how to vary the arm weight in a way that's healthy and effective without holding anything, I'm going to have to get into that in another video. As I'm reaching the forte, I'm also connecting my back to what I'm doing and engaging the whole body in producing the sound. There's another video on my channel about that called How to Use Body Weight for Better Piano Sound. Okay, that's all for this discussion of arm weight. I'd be very curious to hear how this goes for you, since it is a slightly different approach than a lot of what you see online. If you try this out, let me know how it goes in the comments, and feel free to ask any questions you have. I'll be happy to answer them. See you on the next one.